When watching guides and tutorials, you might think to yourself that you are already doing all the things that get mentioned and that it is really hard to figure out what you specifically need to focus on. During games, it is often difficult to catch our own mistakes, which is why it is important to look back at our replays in order to get a better understanding of what we are doing well and where there is room for improvement. But without knowing specifically what to look for, it can be really difficult to improve. So today we are going to be introducing you to how you can more efficiently use gameplay footage in order to get better at Rocket League. Hey everyone, and welcome. My name is Sabby. I have over 10 years of professional coaching experience and a master's degree in sports psychology. Today, I am here to help you to get started with arguably the most powerful training tool that you can immediately start implementing into your training routine in order to take your game to the next level. Watching your own gameplay is not a new concept by any means. Players and coaches alike have been using replay reviews in order to build confidence, improve tactics, and master their techniques for years. But if it is such an effective tool, then how come replay reviews are rarely something that the average player utilizes during their training? Most likely, it's because many players don't know where to begin and end up going about it incorrectly, which causes them to give up before they are able to see any results. By the end of this video, my goal is to show you how reviewing a combination of your own and professional gameplay can help you to climb the ranks faster and more efficiently. One great way to jumpstart this process is by watching a professional do it. On Gamers Ready, you can find my coaching profile link, along with many other great personalities eager to help you to improve at Rocket League. Gamers Ready also offers a variety of guides and courses, everything from mastering mechanics to better understanding team play. You can check out the site by clicking on any of the links below. So how do we get started then? Well, as previously mentioned, it is important to approach video analysis correctly in order to not lose motivation and get the most out of it. The best way to get into the swing of things is to start by watching a more experienced player that you can draw inspiration from. There are tons of high-level players on YouTube and Twitch, and this is a great way to get motivated, and it can be tremendously helpful as you can learn a great deal from simply observing high-level play. However, there are additional steps to consider if you're looking to get the most out of gameplay reviews. For example, there's a great resource available called ballchasing.com where you can download a large selection of professional players' replays. This gives you exposure to high-level games that you most likely have not seen before, which enables our first replay drill. After you have loaded the replay, begin by watching through and looking out for any situation where a 50-50 or uncertain challenge is about to occur, and pause the replay. From this snapshot you have available to you, and your knowledge of how the play evolved to get to this state, you can begin to think through how the player is positioned, what the most likely outcome of the play is, and what the worst case scenario is. Based on that information, do you think the player is positioned well? Some things to consider are, is the player positioned in a way that allows them to maintain their momentum regardless of outcome, or at least in the event of the most likely outcome? Where are the opponents positioned? Where are his teammates positioned? Are they choosing to play the situation more aggressively or passively? Through these questions, determine if the player is positioned well, and if not, then present an alternative based on the information that you have gathered before resuming the replay and seeing how the play unfolds. This is a simple yet effective drill that's going to give you not only exposure to high-level play, but also allow you to compare your own decision-making to that of a pro, seeing how they play certain situations differently than what you might have thought was the most efficient line yourself. This drill does, however, come with one big red flag. While I do strongly recommend watching high-level gameplay in order to find inspiration and build motivation to improve your own game, you want to make sure that you are still balancing watching your own gameplay as well. If you only watch professionals play, then you are at risk of beginning to imagine yourself playing like one of them rather than yourself. Now, this might sound good in theory, but the reality is that for most of us, we cannot play like the top guys and gals, and it will leave you with a feeling of disappointment after that initial surge of inspiration that you got from watching them play. Therefore, in order to complement high-level gameplay reviews, we need to learn how to efficiently analyze our own gameplay as well. When first starting out with watching your own replays, there are a few common mistakes that you should try to avoid. For example, when starting out, there is a tendency among players and coaches alike to focus primarily on mistakes. This emphasis seems to make sense because if you watch your own mistakes, then you can learn from and correct them. But in practice, only watching for your mistakes ingrains a negative image and feeling into your mind and body. Much like physically practicing bad technique will instill bad performance into your mind and muscles and lead to the development of poor habits. Similarly, when I invite students to review their own replays, one of the most common things I see is that they begin to focus too much on the details of the video. Replays are used mostly for analysis, so it is easy to get obsessed with every little detail. Though there is a place for analyzing the minute details of your performance, too much will cause you to lose sight of what is really important, namely the image and feeling of great play. So in order to help set you up for success, I have compiled a list of 4 rules that you should try to follow when you're first getting started. Number 1. Although you can learn a lot about what you need to work on by watching for your own mistakes, when getting started, I recommend watching roughly 75% highlight videos of yourself playing well. Seeing and feeling your best performances allows your mind and body to absorb positive images and feelings, which helps contribute to positive mental imagery. Number 2. Instead of thinking about the videos, such as analyzing, critiquing, evaluating, just watch with focus and allow yourselves to absorb and experience the overall images of good performances and the image and feelings it triggers. Number 3. To maximize the benefits of watching professionals play, try to find a player who is most similar to you gameplay-wise. For example, if you are a very grounded 1v1 focused player, you would get a lot more out of watching O'Khaled play as opposed to Justin, who is far more known for his aerial mechanics. And most importantly, when combining self and pro replays, always remember to imagine yourself playing like you and not somebody else. Instead, take what they do well and incorporate it into your own gameplay rather than trying to mimic them. Today's question of the day is one that I personally get asked more than any other during my coaching sessions, and that is, what is the most important mechanic to practice in order to rank up? This question has many answers depending on who you ask, but if you ask me, then the most important mechanical skill to master is recovery mechanics. By refining your recovery techniques, you will find yourself playing faster, using less boost, and hesitating less. In practice, what we are doing is reverse engineering that feeling of doubt that you get when considering going for a challenge or aerial hit. It is very normal to hesitate in these types of situations, but it's important to understand why we hesitate. For many of us, it may be because we are scared of failing, worried we will let our team down, or simply because we have too much going through our heads hindering us from making a quick decision. All of these feelings can be directly addressed by practicing your recoveries, because if you know that regardless of how badly you whiff the ball, that you will be able to get back on your wheels and into the play quickly and cleanly, then you will see that those negative thoughts will begin to dwindle. Therefore, I recommend my triple threat of recovery mechanics. Number 1, half flips. Number 2, wave dashes. And number 3, making sure that you are comfortable air rolling in such a way that when you land, your wheels are facing the direction you want to go. This means correctly utilizing either the accelerator or the reverse button on your landings, and if you happen to land sideways, then make sure that you are holding down power slide in order to maintain your momentum. Before we wrap things up, I want to give you a brief list of things that I personally look for when reviewing a student's replays. This will help get the gears turning in your head and give you certain things to look out for and prepare you for a more detailed analysis of your gameplay going forward. Number 1 is boost management. Fun fact, in order to get your car from the ground to the ceiling, all you need is 40 boost. This means that if you are tunneling for a large boost pad when you're at 35 boost, you're effectively taking yourself out of the play, and you could have most likely chosen a more optimal line of rotation that would allow you to pick up 1 or 2 small boost pads and get yourself into the play more quickly and efficiently. Similarly, another thing that I look for is the momentum of my players. So look for situations when you bring your car to a full stop, either due to poor positioning or subpar pathing. Coming to a full stop not only slows down your gameplay, but you will now need to use boost to make up for this mistake, leaving you in a position with low boost and without the ability to get power on your shot or clear. And finally, one of the big things that I look out for is hesitating. So how fast are you making decisions? Do you visibly hesitate by driving your car back and forth while trying to make up your mind, or do you commit to a certain option? Know that it is much better to make the wrong decision and own it rather than it is to make the correct decision 3 or 4 seconds too late. Hopefully now you will have a better understanding of where to begin with watching your own gameplay. And the last thing I want to say is that there's a reason why you generally only see the best of the best implementing this training method. This is because only a small fraction of players are actually willing to go the extra mile in order to accomplish what the larger majority only dream of. If you dedicate the time to yourself, then you will soon find that the results will be well worth it. Good luck in Ranked and have a wonderful day. Let us know in the comments below where you're struggling and we'll try to help you out however we can. I recommend joining the Gamers Ready Discord in order to find like-minded players, and consider booking a session with either me or another one of the Gamers Ready coaches. All of this can be found in the links below. Thanks for watching.